This is the Linear Algebra Lectures video series. You can find more information about this video as well as a link to the written textbook in the description below. Stick around to the end of the video to learn more about this video series and the associated teaching and learning tools I've created for it. Lecture 43, Applications to Image Processing. In the previous lecture, we learned about the singular value decomposition theorem, which says that we can take any matrix A and decompose it as U times sigma times V transpose, where U and V are orthogonal matrices, and sigma is a not quite diagonal matrix that has the same shape as A. What we're going to learn in this lecture is that we can use this singular value decomposition to approximate a matrix by trimming down the matrices U, sigma, and V. So we choose a value that we call K, and then we let P be the matrix whose columns are the first K columns of U, D be the matrix that is the upper left K by K corner of sigma, and then Q is the matrix whose columns are the first K columns of V. Or in other words, Q transpose is formed from the first K rows of V transpose. And then A is going to be approximately equal to P times D times Q transpose. And we can apply this procedure to image compression. So for example, let's look at this image of a flower, which is 1063 pixels tall and 1600 pixels wide. We want to use a 1063 by 1600 matrix to represent this image. We'll start out by converting the image to grayscale. We'll talk about how we deal with colors later. And we can represent a grayscale image by using a number between 0 and 1 for each pixel. 0 represents a fully black pixel, 1 represents a white pixel, and most of the pixels are going to be somewhere in between. So the matrix representing this image is going to have approximately 1.7 million entries. So that's 1.7 million numbers that we need to use to represent this image. We want to compress this image, which means that we want to represent the image using less storage, but still maintain image quality. So our matrix can be decomposed using the singular value decomposition as M equals U sigma V transpose. And the compression process is what we described before. If we choose, for example, K equals 50, then M will approximately be equal to P D Q transpose. P is 1063 by 50, that's the first 50 columns of U. D is 50 by 50, that's the upper left corner of sigma. And Q is 1600 by 50, that's the first 50 columns of V. And so if we add up the sizes of all those matrices, that reduces the amount of numbers that we need to store this information to 135,650, which is a 92% reduction. So our steps in Wolfram are to import the image and then convert it to grayscale. And the image data command gives us the matrix M with the 1.7 million entries that we were talking about before. Then we apply the singular value decomposition and trim those matrices. The nice thing is that in Wolfram, you can do that in one command. If we type singular value decomposition M, 50, then that performs the trimming that we were talking about. And you can see the three matrices that we have here are the sizes that we talked about. And if we replace that number 50 with some other value of K, we'll get a similar result. So then we multiply those matrices together, P times D times Q transpose, and then we compare the two images side by side. I'll make them a little bigger here for you so you can see the differences. We can definitely tell that the image on the right isn't quite a faithful representation of the original image. We can see some blurring and some artifacts of the compression, so that's the trade-off with the storage savings that we've made. If we increase the value of K, then the storage savings goes down, but the quality of the image improves. So we can see that the image on the right is much closer to the original image, although if you look closely, you can still see some blurring and some compression artifacts. With K equals 200, our storage savings goes down to 66%, which is still pretty good, and it's much harder to tell any difference between the two images. Now, how do we deal with colors? Well, every pixel in a color image can be split into color channels. A common way to do this is using red, green, and blue. And you can see how we can combine red, green, and blue to create other colors using this color wheel. For example, a yellow pixel would be represented by numbers close to 1 in both the red and green channels, but a number close to 0 in the blue channel. So we can take our original color image and split it into 3 color channels. So here's our original flower image, and you can see the 3 channels here. The green channel is to the right, the red channel is to the lower right, and the blue channel is underneath our original image. And because our flower is largely yellow, you can see that the petals of the flower are very dark in the blue channel because there's not much blue in a yellow pixel. But those petals are very bright in the red and green channels because the value of a yellow pixel is very high in a red and green. Now in Wolfram, we can separate these images using the color separate command, which by default splits it into the red, green, and blue channels. We separately compute our 3 color channel matrices and apply the singular value decomposition to each.
And then we approximate each of those channels in the same way that we did before. Finally, we use the color combine command to put the approximated images back together into a full color image. So this is similar to the image that we got before with k equals 50, which is blurry, but still highly compressed. And just like before, we can increase the value of k to improve the quality of the compressed image. So here again are side by side with k equals 50, k equals 100, and k equals 200. And just like before, with k equals 200, we get about a 66% storage savings and an image that is pretty indistinguishable from the original image.
Thanks for watching this video lecture. You can find links to the other videos in this series and to the written textbook in the description below. If you're an instructor, you can contact me for more information about the over 300 online linear algebra homework problems that I've created for the free My Open Math platform.